Hey, hello, good day. Good to be here again after a while. My name is Timi Awesu and welcome to Beauty Men Thoroughly. Wow, we just concluded the Total Man series. I really hope you enjoyed it. Quite a lot of things to consider. It took us a while, but finally we ended it, and I decided to do this recording because we always do this for like the summary, so it's a quick resource for you to actually go through all of this. So I'll quickly run through all the things we were considered in this particular episode. The total man, remember that I defined in the first episode that the total man is the balanced man. He's not a perfect guy, he's a growing guy. He's one who understands how to interact with theology, psychology, physiology, and sociology. Is that balanced guy. And in this series, we considered the first episode we considered is the man and his source. Here we talked about the relationship between where man came from, who is man, where did he come from, why is he here, and where is he going to. We talked about his connection to divinity, his connection to theology, his connection to where his source literally. Then we moved over to the man and his purpose, and we exhaustively shared in a 3-part series episode, literally 3-part. We did part 1, part 2, part 3, and in the man and his purpose we talked about the work and assignment, we talked about the 3 dimensions of purpose, we talked about the principles of purpose, we talked about the 4 D's of purpose: discovery, development, deployment, and delivery of purpose. And we said that these things keep going, the cycle keep repeating itself. We also considered some vital principles of purpose for a young man, vision, and portions of purpose that are connected to timing. Very exhaustive, very detailed. Is something you want to listen to. We also went further to talk about the man and his career or profession. We did a two episode on that, 2 episode, and we talked about things like a man's work, difference between your work, your job, and the relationship, how they connect, how you're supposed to discover this, the connection with your vocation, your assignment, and how they intersect. We talked about in the part 2 of that particular episode, we talked about skill development, knowledge enlargement, and strategic networking. These were vital things that we considered around the man and his career. Then we went over to talk about the man and his money, Mullah. 1 and 2, part 1 and 2, we talked about the purpose and the role of money, the relationship between value and money, the 3 M's of money, talking about cash flow, capital gains. We also went to talk about sales skills, technical and investment skills, financial intelligence, the quadrant of money, money and your soul, money and God, money paradigms. We talked very detailed. You should listen to that particular series about the man and his money. Then we went over to talk about the man and the relationship, and we started breaking this down. We talked about the man and his friends, talked about how there are 2 extremes of people: those who listen to nobody and those who listen to everybody. Talked about the purpose of covenant friends, the values you share with your friends, needing this inner circle who help your judgment from time to time. Then we went over to talk about the man and his woman, and I remember that we talked about 2 categories. We talked about the wife, the man and his wife, and the man and his fiancée. We did a good job on breaking down the things, the value systems, the value principles that are you supposed to put side by side in having this relationship, because it really matters. We talked about the purpose of a woman in a man's life, and really it's beautiful stuff for you to listen to these things because they are principle based, they are time tested, and you cannot miss it with these things. Then we went over to talk about the man and his siblings. I got a huge feedback for this particular episode about the man and his siblings because it came with new insights. We talked about the purposes of siblings and how what you must understand as a man, where your siblings come in to strengthen the unity and diversity, to retain bloodline blessings and inheritances, to help contribute to the family vision, to for communion, to prototype the manufacturer's pattern for family. We talked about deep things in the man and his siblings. You should listen to that episode. Then we went over to talk about the man and his family. We talked about the role of the family. Your family is the first place. Family before money, family before ministry, family before business. Creating the required harmony that is required for you to connect with family, regardless of what season or situation your life is per time. Then we went over to the man and his coach. We talked about 3 blocks of relationship: those that look up to you, those that are contemporary, and those that you look up to. We talked about some people who are teachers, pastors, role model, life coaches, and people that you have. We remembered I said that the best have coaches, like the best have coaches. And then we went over to the man and his sexuality, where we talked about the word man and sex. We are sexual beings, talking about the key being self-control and a couple of other interesting factors. I also remember that it was a 2-part series. We talked about different dimensions of sexuality, how to training your mind, exercise, eating awesome food, the place of self-control, keeping only one sexual partner, and every value principle that a man needs to know in order to be effective. The man and his sexuality is something you really want to listen to. You should look out for that. Then we move further to talk about the man and those that look up to him: proteges, mentees, disciples, students. These are the categories of people here. And you need this relationship because they keep you accountable. They make you keep doing the things that you should do over the years, because people are looking up to you, and you literally influence lives, because everybody influences somebody. Everybody influences somebody. Then we went over to talk about the man and his mind. We talked about mental health, the mental state of the man, how to relate with your mind, how to develop your mind, how to improve your mindset, how to rest in terms of your mind, and a couple of other things. You should watch out, you should listen to rather the man and his mind. Then we went over to talk about the man and his offspring, children, the things that come out of you. Then we talked about 2 dimensions of offspring: your visions, your assignments, your seeds of solution to the earth, and also seeds of children. Literally, that's that you being a model, you being a pattern, you being an example, you being available to love, listen, and to discipline them, training up a child in the way that he should go, because you are the man, you being the image of God to the child. You are like the first image of God to that child. Anyways, so then we went over to talk about the man and his community, how the man interacts with his present community, how he is a solution provider. We talked about the purpose of the man to the community, and the community's purpose to the man, a 2-way dimensional thing that you really need to understand. You have a purpose to your community, and your community have a purpose to you. If you really want to understand that, you should listen to the man and his community. Then we went over to talk about the man and his health. I remember vividly that we talked about dimensions of health. We talked about physical health, we talked about mental health, and we talked about spiritual health. We talked about how to improve these areas and the things you're supposed to do from time to time. Most of these things are common sense, but for some reason we forget about all of these things, and it's something you really want to check out. The man and his health was awesome. And lastly, we talked about the man and his legacy. I talked to you about the story of the epitaph. We talked about how you want to be remembered, how every day you actually make legacies, how every day you actually put things together that makes us remember you, for every action that you do. And I asked the question, how exactly do you want to be remembered? And the answer to that helps you to know how you're supposed to do your daily actions, your thought system, your beliefs, and your thinking. So basically, this is the summary of the total man. I'm hoping that you took quite some time to listen to this and you got value for this. I want to encourage you to share this to your colleagues, share it to your friends, share this to your family and members. This is a summary and I think it's really going to help them. You should visit the website www.timiawesu.com to be able to listen to this live and direct. All the episodes are there. We had about 23 episodes of all of this, and it's a whole resource for you. And hooray, the book of this particular Total Man series is also going to be released soon. So watch out. Thank you for listening to this series, The Total Man. And as usual, look up for more exciting things coming from Building Men Thoroughly with Timi Awesu. I would like to hear your feedback on all our social media platforms, on our WhatsApp community, through our emails, and you can also drop a message from me on my website www.timiawesu.com. Thank you again for finding time to listen to Building Men Thoroughly with Timi Awesu. And as you usually say here on BMT, Building Men Thoroughly, for men are the foundation of society.